3, 2, 1.
Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading, in particular, mystery reading number 1108. My name is Elizabeth, and before getting into this reading, if you are a recurring viewer, you enjoy my work, and you would like to help support it, feel free to do so by sticking around and hitting that subscribe button down below, and ringing the notification bell next to it if you feel called to. And if you do feel called to subscribe and stick around, my current goal is 300 subscribers at this time. So thank you very much for your support as well as your presence during this reading. So before getting into interpret the number 1108, I want to talk about a couple of things. Someone here may be Canadian, or Canada could be a significant country. And the other thing is, there may be something here bothering you when it comes to using your voice or expressing yourself. Maybe you're struggling to find the right words, or you're struggling to be heard in some way. This feels significant, expressing yourself and using your voice. And, pay attention to what really is bothering you about this. That's really all I feel like I can say about that. Only take those messages about Canada and using your voice if you feel called to. You could feel called to get into more political or legal things, but now I'm going to get into interpreting number 1108, and starting with the number 1, there are 2 ones, and this number is about trusting and believing in yourself. I also just got distracted by the fact that when you look at 1108 and you look at the ones on their own, looks like the number 11. Mystery reading number 1100 or 1101 could have been significant for you if you did watch those, or if you feel called to watch them now. But the number 11 is on the Justice card in Tarot, and for me that card is about bringing justice to yourself by finding closure, healing, taking care of yourself, and or bringing justice to a situation or a relationship outside of yourself. Again, there's something here about using your voice and committing to expressing yourself honestly, but for some reason that bothers you. For some reason, maybe it's something that you're struggling to do, or maybe it's how people react. There's just something bothering you about using your voice, and how interesting is that? Just looked down at the timer, I saw the number 333, and the first way that I always interpret this number, the number 3 is expressing yourself, communicating, using your voice. That is confirmation here that something's bothering you. And the number 3 can also be about healing and growing and making a commitment to this healing and this spiritual growth, or something else. Is there a commitment that you need to question, or that you need to commit more to, or walk away from? This is really giving me the feeling of the Lovers. This doesn't necessarily have to be about a romantic relationship. The Lovers it's about commitment, but it's like is it meant to be? Should I stay? Should I go? And it doesn't have to be only in the context of a relationship. It could be anything, any commitment. Yeah. The Lover's card is a commitment card, so there's really something here about using your voice, being honest about staying or leaving something or someone, and healing and growing as a result of whatever you choose to do. So it does feel like whatever is bothering you is more like coming from within you. Maybe how you're thinking, feeling, or your beliefs. Are there any beliefs that need to be changed of yours that need to be questioned? Especially related to your value and what you deserve, your worth. I really encourage you to trust and believe in yourself, and if that message does resonate for you, maybe 1101 could really be an important reading for you. But let's move on to the number 0, which can be about recurring themes or patterns that you're being called to pay attention to. This could be guidance or confirmation if you're already seeing these patterns. And they can show up in the form of spiritual communication, like signs, synchronicities, etc. Or just in the way that things align for you. No matter where these patterns are coming from, if you are seeing them, pay attention. If you're not seeing them, maybe keep an eye out if you feel called to. The number 0 can also be a reminder or confirmation to know when to put yourself first. And no matter what this commitment is, do what respects your highest well-being, your needs, and what you want out of life. I do want to say use your judgment, and if there's other people involved, communicate, but there's something here about making how you feel known, even if it's just to yourself, and respecting your own thoughts and feelings, your own emotional, psychological experience. And I'm hearing a siren outside. And sirens to me are a call for you to pay attention to something. In this case, this is about paying attention to what you need, what you want, and what you deserve. It feels like it's about you and making a decision. I don't think I talked about it, but the Lover's card has the number 6 on it, and this number is encouragement for you to literally choose self-love and self-care over self-hate and self-destruction and self-neglect. It really does feel like this 0 is confirmation to put yourself first. If that's what you truly feel called to do. You're allowed to express what you feel truly called to do. You are allowed to show up in this world in the way that feels right to you, that feels like it aligns with you and who you truly are. You deserve to express yourself honestly and authentically, and for the world to make room for you. The last number, the number 8, is about loss and trusting that whatever is lost will be replaced. And this really leads me to believe that whatever commitment this is a call to walk away. I'm seeing the 8 of Cups actually in my mind's eye, and that card is all about, you've invested in something or someone for a long time, and so walking away is not going to be easy, probably disappointing, but I feel like there's something here about cutting your losses and trusting that it happened for a reason, and as long as you move forward in a healthy way, I believe that this experience will ultimately serve you, maybe not in the way that you wanted or expected, but in a psychological, emotional, spiritual way. It really does feel like there could potentially be something to learn, especially if walking away is difficult. You gotta respect that you deserve to be heard, and there doesn't have to be any bad blood or anything. It doesn't have to be that serious. It's just simply about acknowledging what you need and what you want, and making the decisions that you need to make to respect your needs and your desires. Like I said, use your judgment. It's okay to ask yourself, am I being too selfish? Or am I being too generous? Am I giving too much or am I taking too much? Something, either way, feels misaligned. Adding up these numbers, 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 0 is still 2, plus 8 is the number 10. And I'm really happy to get this number for you. I'm really happy to get this number because it's about the presence of your spirit guides. There could be a Spanish or Portuguese person watching this, or at least, maybe you have some ancestry in that area. But yeah, I mean, to get more general, there could be ancestors present. It really just depends on what this is about. I feel like if you do feel like you need more comfort and more protection, your ancestors are present. I mean, I believe they're always present, but they like to make themselves extra known when we're feeling uncomfortable or insecure in some way or unsafe. And it's important to remember that spiritually you are not alone in this. I think someone here may need the message that you really are protected, but only if you protect yourself. The universe can only protect you so much. You gotta meet it halfway and be willing to protect yourself too. But the other message with the number 10, 1 plus 0 is still 1, and this is a message specifically coming from the spirit guides, ancestors, etc. Just your spiritual support system to trust your intuition. Trust whatever decision you feel called to make, and believe in your strength to make the decisions that align with you and that you feel called to make. So, as you can see, there are a few decks of cards on the table, and a bag up here with folded up pieces of paper that are a mix of runes and little fortune slips that I collected from fortune cookies. I'm feeling connected to the word cookie, and then I felt connected to the word biscotto, which means cookie in Italian. So maybe there's something here about sweets from your ancestors, or something more specific. I'll only take that if it resonates. But for this portion of the reading, I'm going to start with these Zoltar Speaks cards. And we're just going to see what comes out. These are, I just now realized, these kind of like are fortune related, and there's also the fortune cookie papers in here. So, now it's making me think of the Wheel of Fortune, which has the number 10 on it. Remember I said it's about the presence of your spirit guides and them encouraging you to trust and believe in yourself. Maybe there's something more fortunate than it seems, or there's going to be a karmic result, cause and effect, balancing the scales in some way. It really is this energy of justice and fairness. And it feels like, there's something here about playing your part in creating more justice. But the Zoltar Speaks card that I have, we're going to do a little different. I'm going to start with saying the lucky numbers instead of reading it. And the lucky numbers are, I knew it, 30, 35, the number 10, 27, the number 5, and 26. And what is standing out to me, of course, is the number 10. So it's undeniably clear that your spirit guides, whoever you're connecting with on the other side, or that you haven't connected with yet, they are really wanting to make their presence known to you. And they're highlighting your intuition and your strength, and are encouraging you to trust and believe in these things. If you feel called to walk away, believe in your ability to do that. Is what I'm feeling. It says that you've been wondering what to do with all those benefits you have or are about to receive. Talk about fortune. Just remember, the branches of a tree return their sap to the root from where it comes, as a river pours its streams into the sea where its spring was supplied. The heart of a grateful man is delighted to return a benefit received. Again, there's this idea of give and take. You are basically a kind and good person. You find confidence in the goodness of another. This is good proof of one's own goodness. Your heart may be pleased to know that there is many a good man to be found under a shabby hat. And this is what it looks like. You can't really read it because text is pretty small. But this card is definitely acknowledging the role that you are playing in a situation, how you are showing up with honest and genuine intentions. Is this relationship or this situation as honest or authentic? Or just, do they really mean what they say? Are things really what they are? This is making me think of the Seven of Cups, which is the card of fantasy. It can be about discerning between what's real and what isn't, what is, genuinely possible potential or just wishful or hopeful thinking. I really encourage you to reflect on how you feel right now and to move forward in a way that really does feel right for you as a good person who deserves to have good things in life. Let's move on to these tarot cards from the Secrets of Tarot deck. Let me shuffle it a little bit. I'm just going to use this to get more detail about what's going on with this Fortune card and all those messages about trusting and believing in yourself, the signs, the patterns, putting yourself first, and trusting that whatever is lost will be replaced. And again, remember that your spirit guides are present and they are encouraging you to trust your intuition and to believe in your strength. So the tarot card that I have is the Queen of Cups. As you can see that there are many things written on this Queen of Cups card. Let me just read those for you. It says nurturing, compassion, generous, empathetic. This is describing a person, by the way. It says teach, understand, and influence. And then we have the zodiac signs of the Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer, and the element of water. Only worry about those zodiac signs if something aligns or feels confirming for you. The artist of this deck wrote woman over 25 years old, blue eyes, fair or brown hair, soft, gentle, and motherly. These don't have to describe you. Not all of these, again, as I say, just only take what resonates here. Even if it isn't the whole reading that resonates, there could still be a message somewhere. But I just really get this feeling that this does represent you. Somebody who is a kind, warm, nurturing, compassionate, empathetic, and generous person. You give a lot. But I feel like you gotta look at who you're giving to right now and where you actually deserve to be investing your own energy in yourself, someone else, some other situation. And this could represent somebody else. Do you feel like you are taking too much from somebody who is warm and compassionate and empathetic? If you are aware of your own unhealthy habits, especially when it comes to using your voice, expressing yourself, and communicating, and you walk away for the sake of that person, or a person that you don't feel like you're not treating them fairly, it really would be an admirable thing to do, to set a boundary and be like, hey, I'm not healthy for you, so I don't think it's fair for me to have a relationship with you. I don't think it's fair for you. Like I said, something just feels misaligned, and you're either giving too much or taking too much, and you got to do something about it. Maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be walking away, but it does feel like you would lose something. All right, let's get one of these index cards now. Let's see what else wants to come through for you to add to all of these messages. find the feeling one somewhere. 1 second. Let's do this one. Yeah. It says, pay attention to physical sensations. What is your physical body telling you? It's almost like this is saying, like, listen to your body, and that might give you more clarity of what to do here. Are you consuming something that your body is rejecting or that you just know isn't good for you physically? Or doing something that isn't good for you physically? This could also be about maybe anxiety. Maybe someone here could be triggering your nervous system. It's very interesting. There's not really much to interpret from this, but I did just see the number 111 on the timer. So just extra encouragement and confirmation there to trust and believe in yourself. Whatever you feel this card is about physical sensations, if it resonates for you, this isn't a coincidence, it feels like. And I'm just going to draw a couple of these pieces of paper now. It could even be about, like, touch or something. But the piece of paper that I have is a rune called Berkana, and it is associated with the letter B. It says, birth, new beginnings, fertility, and true home. So the idea of birth, new beginnings, really aligns with an ending here. Something coming to an end, something changing. And it could be about creating a home that actually feels like home, genuinely feeling safe and secure, comfortable, protected. Maybe like you can relax or sleep better. Let's go ahead and get this other piece of paper. Feel it and just waiting to grab it, you know? Okay, I have it. This time it is a, fortune slip from a fortune cookie. And it says, seek guidance where you can this weekend. It's looking like it's just not wanting to focus. But that is really what it says. That's what it says. You can kind of read it, I think. But the seek guidance where you can this week is like, it does feel like a call to pay attention to the messages in this reading and to possibly even seek out other opinions. It's okay to get support, to, see what other people think, whether a professional or just a friend. You're allowed to really think through and take your time before making a decision, because it does, talking about the lovers earlier, this really does seem like a big commitment, and it feels like it really would be quite disappointing to have to walk away. So you don't have to just dive straight into the deep end. You don't have to push yourself anywhere you're not ready to go. But this does feel like a call for you to be honest with yourself, with others, and to respect what would create more fairness, more balance, and a more equal give and take in this situation. Someone here could be feeling resentment, and it may be important to talk about that. But overall, in this reading, there has been a lot of encouragement, almost, maybe it might even come off as a little pushy to somebody, but encouragement for you to trust your intuition and believe in your strength. Your spirit guides are very present, and they could very much be trying to communicate with you. So really pay attention to the guidance, the signs, why things are the way that they are. Especially more like on a spiritual level. Give yourself some time to think and reflect, and remember that you are a good and generous person, or you are dealing with a good and generous person, and I feel like it would just feel really right to say how you feel and set a proper boundary to protect yourself, to protect somebody else, something needs to change. There needs to be more of a sense of security, maybe even safety and stability. So, like I've already said, pay attention to the signs and trust yourself. Really, really trust yourself and your ability to make decisions that you believe in. And I was just about to stop recording and I saw the number 543. So last message here is to trust that everything happens for a reason. No matter what feels right for you to do, seek out the deep meaning. What does this mean for you spiritually? What does it mean for the collective and the kind of impact that you could have on those around you too?